ready to be entertained by the world's greatest painter out there, who takes the pain out of painting, Mr. Aaron Burk. Let's go!
Cue the music. The rock star of painters. Thank you so much. Holy moly, what an introduction. And that was on the fly. She had no idea she was going to be asked to do that.
For that one.
Welcome back. Okay, wow, that's fantastic. So, you guys, this presentation is going to be a little bit different. You can go to the first slide, please. This is, I could spend the whole presentation doing before and afters. I have done that in the past, but I think it's time we talk a little bit about internal workings instead. The reason I was inspired by Zach's presentation, everybody remember? Okay, yeah. What did he have? He had an inspection report, right? It's part of his documentation thing, a process that he goes through with all his customers or whatever, and it fills out all the details. What inspired me to show you what paperwork we have at Burk's Painting. And the thing is, that paperwork through all your companies, everybody's paperwork is your proprietary basis of your business. That stuff, I know Sharon's is very effective and good paperwork too. That paperwork is your foundation. It is your business, right? And without the paperwork, the business really, it's not a business at all. I mean, I can go out and I can put paint on a wall and brush and roll myself personally, but to operate a painting operation as a business, it's a whole nother matter, okay? So I'm going to share with you a few of our pages, the communication that we give out to our clients in the painting process. I would venture a guess, we can debate this, plumbers, electricians, framers, drywallers, that painting is probably the worst one to be in. That you have to know a little bit about all the trades. We had a plumbing leak yesterday at one of our jobs, little tiny one, but there's you have to know a little tiny bit about everything. So painting is a little more flipped than all the other trades. So I'm not positive about the numbers in all of your segments in the industry and the construction, but I do know that if you're an HVAC guy, you don't have the same numbers as a painting guy. Right? Your equipment costs are probably higher. Your labor is lower. With flooring, the flooring people are in and out of a job in 2 days, sometimes less, sometimes more. But painting is extended in labor, takes longer, more detail, and so your labor costs are flipped. Equipment costs might be here, labor costs here. Painting, it's flipped. So my labor costs run in the field 50 to 55% of the total just in labor. And my material costs are very low. So my material costs very rarely exceed 15%. Okay, and I know that if you're an HVAC guy and you're buying these giant systems, that your equipment costs are higher and you're in and out of there in a day, so your labor is lower. So this will help you inform your clients what to expect when you have painters in your home. This is really going to be directed a lot towards my GCs, because what happens, you're going to see at the end of this presentation just how involved all the detail is, that the client needs to know this stuff. The very little stuff all the way to the big stuff. And sometimes what happens is I send the communication to a GC, get it out there, and it doesn't get transferred to the client. So the client, we're walking in and the client hasn't seen all this stuff yet, and they are maybe taken a little bit by surprise. So it's some method, some way, somehow we've got to make sure that the client, as I pass along my email communication, body of the email, attachments, so forth, that it does get through my GC's protocols and to the client. If not the paperwork, then at least the information that's on the paperwork. Okay, so for example, and you'll see, for example, this is just an introduction. Our first email, usually first point of contact is a phone call to Sue. But immediately after that, they get this email that says, thank you, a warm welcome, and please find attached a document to make your estimate go smoothly. You're going to see the document we call it a pre-estimate checklist. It's just a list of things you can expect. So on page 2 of the little packet I handed out, you're going to see things that they may want to know to prepare for painting. Like, do you have any colors chosen? You guys, we don't even think about painting or dispatching or deploying painters until you've got colors thought about. So we're on hold right now at Alabama Street because we're waiting on the color for the cabinets. We don't know yet. So we're obviously not going to schedule anybody. We don't even know if the colors will arrive today or next week. So things like this in the pre-estimate. What are your time frames? Will there be other tradesmen on the project? We have to have a pristine, dust-free, clean environment when we paint. No other trade has to have that. We can't paint if there's going to be holes being drilled in walls on the walls that we're going to be painting. So it's just a simple question, be aware of. That's all it is, right? And a list, things like, is there neighbor issues? Is there parking issues? Is there street sweeping that day? Do they ticket on street sweeping? You've never seen a thing like a street sweeping noise, and I have this radar for it. I hear this, and I go, everybody jumps up and runs to the curb to move their cars. Right? It's a comedy. So things like that have to be thought of in advance, hopefully. In advance. It helps with the customer feeling at ease through the remainder of the project. General job procedures. It's simple. It's basically our list of prep. So we provide that separately. We have our pricing proposal. That's one document. But separately, we have a list of all the things that we do on every job that's consistent with every job that involves the preparation stages of your painting project. You know, painting is the one thing. Prep is 70 to 75% of the whole job. Once we start applying paint onto a surface, we're almost done. We're on the backside. So folks often don't understand why the payment schedule is spelt out seemingly lopsided. Why am I paying like 40% of the project and I haven't seen any paint on the walls yet? It's because it's all prep. And then once the prep's done, it's really fast to get done. Okay, so that's some of the things that are in our pre-project checklist or general job procedure. This is an example of the actual pricing proposal itself, the bid sheet. So this goes through and spells out, probably skip everything else except for the payment schedule. So we want the client to know that painters need to be paid as work is performed. So it's not like we're asking to get money in advance. It's simply how much effort, money, labor have we put out, and it's already in your house, sitting there at that percentage. So that's why that's there. That's why I always point it out when we present in our bid presentation. Here's the list of our preps, things, basics. Everybody knows: scrape, sand, prepare the woodwork, stucco patch, apply primers, and so forth, caulking, removing masking paper, clean up, paint, and label paint cans for your clients at the end, and put the paint cans away in a garage or whatever. So that's for future touch-ups. We always do that, and our painters are all trained on all these. And they know, my painters know, that your clients know that they are looking at this list. So we're all on the same page, okay? And here it is, 70% of your work is in the prep stages, okay? Simply work payments as work is performed. Another email top of this is simple. Right before the project starts, they'll get this after a deposit check. Once I get a deposit check, immediately that triggers an email. The email is the pre-project checklist. That's listing all of the things. Have you signed the contract yet? What's your preferred start date? Is there restroom access? Is restroom privileges even being granted to us. That sometimes requires a porta potty outside in the front yard or what have you, frequent breaks. So the client needs to know, well, if we're painting outside, for example, don't have restroom privileges, the guys are going to be they're going to be away from the job site taking breaks. So just a knowledge thing. It's just an awareness thing. So they're not surprised. Where are your guys? I don't see your guys here. Well, they had to go to the restroom. They had to get, so forth. So there's a ton of things in here that we can't go, but that's why I have them written down for you guys. GCs especially, please take a packet back with you. And everyone else, I'll try to get more of these printed off if I get the chance. I only had 12 or so. And then again, finally, to wrap up the project, it's usually a payment reminder. At the completion of your job, you'll be provided a detailed invoice similar to all of our businesses. Here is the actual invoice itself. That goes to the client. We usually, on residential projects, request to get paid right away upon our completion. That's pretty key and important for your clients to know, because sometimes I've had clients say, I pay 10%, and then when you're done, I'll pay you all of it. Well, you'll have to find a different painter, because we can't work like that. I actually have to buy the paint. And once the paint's put on the walls, I can't take it back. So it's really important the client knows that we do need to get paid at the end. We handle it very nice, but the customer needs to be aware it's payment due upon completion. Next slide. And that's it. That's the whole presentation for the paperwork stuff. Take this back with you. And now I'll spend just, how much time do I have? Oh, great. Okay, so let's talk about referrals, okay? Now, there is kind of a separate detachment from the way we operate as a group in offering referrals. What's a great referral is not a lead. A lead is simply, here, Aaron, here's a number of somebody, I think they need painting. You give them a call, right? That's a lead, a cold lead. What we are is we're a referral organization. That's qualified referrals, meaning they know a little bit more detail about the person you're referring. There's a little bit of a warm introduction and effective follow-up on that referral. So as a referral organization, normally the person that you're calling knows that you're going to be calling them. So if someone, let's say Gail, you were to give me Dana Palmer's number and say, Aaron, I spoke to her, she knows you're calling, give her a call, she's expecting you. That's the big difference from just saying, here's a card, call this person that looks like they need painting. Okay, so we are a referral organization. However, with painting, it's a little bit different. A really good referral for us is to take one of these brushes and just hang it on a gate. You literally can give me a great referral by slamming on your brakes in the middle of the street, jumping out of your car, and running up to the gate, hanging this on the gate or a front door, and running away and leaving and not even talking to anybody. And that's a great referral for us. Why? It's because painting I'm in competition with 500 other painters just within 5 miles of me. It's paint. Everybody's got a cousin who will paint for them. And when I present my pricing, it's for a company to come in, licensed, insured, with trained people that have a system. They call the office. You call the office anytime there's an issue. You have an office to contact. It's not a painter out of the back of a van that might be disappearing in 6 months and you'll never see him again. Okay, we back up our work, and we've backed up our work for years after. We have, I think we're running close to 40% of our sales is repeat customers. So it's not too bad, I think, as far as painters go. So that's why this is a great referral for us. Go hang these out on doorstop neighbors. Hey, I know a great painter. Do you say, I know the best painter in the county? Not really. No, it's okay to say I know a great painter, but when you say the best painter in the county, puts me on a little bit of a precarious, Because if we one little mess up, I thought you were the best painter in the county, right? So it's better just to say you know a great painter. Emphasis on great, like Tony the Tiger, right? That's a great way to put it. All right, so that's a great referral for us. Now, also as we all do, we love property managers. We love maintenance managers. Commercial maintenance managers are a great referral for us. If you know a contact, I would love a personal introduction to any maintenance manager of any facility, property manager who runs multiple properties or even one property, office managers, interior commercial office managers. We do a lot of work for legal offices, real estate agent offices. If you know that real estate agent, you're good friends with a real estate agent, you know that the broker for the office, perhaps they have a contact that's a lead office manager, that's a great introduction for us. They would love you if you gave them our card, because it's just another number, a service provider. They need to know people who can perform services. So office managers, property managers, facility managers, great referrals for us. And commercial exterior tilt-ups, fantastic. Commercial interior offices, and of course, all your residential needs. We do drywall repair, patching of the interior. We do exterior stucco repair, wood work, wood replacement. Those big beams that get rotten at the tips, we can cut those off and patch them up and make those beams look really good again. So residentially, we do a whole host of additional handyman style of work. My guys are great handy workers. Replace a gate, repair a little brick fence, a little pony wall. We can do a lot with mortar, with wood replacement. We've built a great built gate. So if you have a gate, we can replicate that. It's all rotten. We can replicate that wooden gate and make it and give you a brand new gate out of that. We've done that many times this past year.
Can I ask you a question?
Please.
So, the referral that I gave you before I left Tennessee,
Yes.
did you guys connect, number one?
We've reached out to her multiple times, and we have not gotten return calls. So we've called her 3 times.
Okay, I'll reach back out to her, but the type of items that she needed done, the texture and stuff, can you speak a little bit about that? Do you remember what she needed?
No, I don't. That was all done through Sue, yes. Sue's been trying to get a hold of her. I haven't even spoken to her.
It was like a Santa Barbara texture or something she named. I think we.
Yeah, it's. I believe it's a Santa Barbara style texture. It's a smooth exterior plaster. If I'm not mistaken. And that, by the way, is something we would not do.
Okay.
Yeah, the Santa Barbara style exterior, without disclaiming heavily that you'll see the patch, because it could. Exterior plaster guys are a whole nother breed. Just like I probably wouldn't do roofing or flooring. I also wouldn't do full exterior plasters. Patching, yes, with the disclaimer, you'll see the patch.
So who would she call for that?
The exterior blow. The guys that have these big machines that put on exterior stucco. Those guys have machines that do the entire house, almost like new construction style. Those guys come in with trucks that have that equipment on board all the time. We'll do patching, but and the same with interior drywall work. I had can you go back to that first slide? So that's about the extent of our scope, right? Interior dry. We did this job, and we'll do a little more, perhaps, before and after. But the issue is, if it's the full room, open studs, we really, it's past us. That's the point at which you need to have a drywall guy. We need one in this group, a drywall person. And we used to have DL Russell, drywall company. I would actually refer Don to this, to anything bigger than this. So and Don and I talk a lot together. You know Don.
Yeah.
anything that's outside my scope, I feel uneasy. That's a little bit like anything more than 4 or 5 sheets of drywall is beyond me. Okay, so that we get an idea of what I can do, what I'm capable of doing. It's usually the smaller stuff. I have done, now flood, you know what a flood cut is? Everybody aware of what a flood cut is? Same thing, but it's cut down 2 feet all the way around. I've done full houses of flood cuts. And, oh, thank you. And really great texture matching. Notice I didn't say perfect. There is no perfect in painting. But the texture match was impressive. And I've seen texture matches, you guys, that looked like they took the mud in their hand and threw it on the wall, and they expected the customer to be okay with that. And we're to paint it and make it look good, and you can't. But my guys do really good texture matching, but not perfect. There's never a word perfect in painting. Okay, I'm about done, yeah? Okay, thank you very much, you guys. Love you and love BTN.